making a bridge between my world and the culture I live in. I long for ways to comprehend information in culturally appropriate ways. The reciprocity of dialogue allows me to absorb information kinesthetically, while granting me the presence to process the information I am absorbing using my visual sense. Sensory overload scrambles my comprehension, and I withdraw into a way of being, supported by rich, complementary, and contrasting metaphors. Metaphors I dream in, that one day grants me context, compromise, complementary languages, and relational autonomy through codependent living, where third parties steward my belonging in my intentional communities of residence and vocation, freeing me from my withdrawn holographic self. I invite you to imagine a kite flying high above the trees on a clear moonlit night. A kite flying with grace, autonomy, responsible freedom, and the capacity to choose collaborative liberty over apathy. Things that fly help me explore and reflect on many of the ways I dream of experiencing belonging, where, within a well-understood set of rules and action, comforting and predictable relationships grant me purpose and relational autonomy, which frees me from my fears of misunderstanding others and being misunderstood myself. The metaphor of flight allows me to reflect upon an ideal I treasure for my life and the tensions my dreams cause with a harshly judgmental reality. I find I need other metaphors to help me attempt to understand events that, to the average person, take only minutes. For myself, on the other hand, I may require weeks or months if I ever comprehend what I have borne witness to. Well, I comprehend the concept of a clock and how clocks permit the commoditization of time and its related barriers to my thriving. When I grant myself the space to reflect on how I comprehend time, I realize the amount of light, seasonal changes in weather, and abundance of diverse natural life are more meaningful to my sense of being than a calendar or a clock. Within my loose framework of time, I realize I dream of actively co-creating environment where my reciprocal actions support our environment and actively steward a normative understanding of time within me. I dream of a state of being where time becomes more than a simple metaphor for me, one where my considerable challenges, correctly understanding the rich information my senses provide me, is reciprocally validated in positive and mutually affirming ways, where my environment uses multisensory communication approaches to support my understanding of relational time, particularly when this relational time has been commoditized in isolating ways. To understand best, I need to process information visually. For this, I am grateful for the support of many art therapists over the years. Around 13 years ago, I started trying to understand my anxiety and related depression, and how autism impacts my experiences with these mental health conditions. My first experience of art therapy helped me realize my anxiety is primarily situational, where I was helped to learn I could use collage to process information, thus managing my anxiety. My ongoing work with my current art therapist is helping me learn new ways of inviting people into the rich metaphor previous art therapists have helped me embrace. They are also helping me learn that while I process information best visually, to access information in the first place, I obtain information best through my senses of touch and proprioception. My challenges with localizing touch on my body, accurately perceiving how firmly I am grasping an object, and determining how much mass a given object has at the moment, often overwhelm me. Sometimes I hurt myself as a result. Usually, my environment overwhelms me to the point that I freeze. I appear to have suddenly become sleepy to those who don't know me well. Well, I am learning how to balance my sensory and cognitive loads better. I dream of visiting a place where I can safely explore and practice understanding various sensory inputs while building an intentional community of vocation, where the primary judgment of outcomes is from non-judgmental plants. Surrounding myself in an environment of lifelong learning through sensory dialogue grants me belonging in ways the overlapping metaphors of my collage allow me to explore and interact with my dreams and aspirations, which are too complex for one metaphor alone to hold, for one layer of one image alone to convey to others. Lost in translation, I reflect upon past choices where my needs appeared to have been overlooked. I remember times when time's privilege granted others a perception of dignity I dared to dream of. Collaboration allows me to experience authenticity and belonging meaningfully, while privileging my exercising of the capacity that relationships grant me. I am grateful to have metaphors available to help me process information, to choose collaboratively, and have the privilege of dialogue to support implementing the consensus we reached. Realizing through dialogue, I am privileged to have access to ways of processing information, which I struggle with in the moment, prompting my withdrawal and isolation. Please grant me the dignity of collective risk, so I may flourish, that we may be united by more than a simple metaphor, where I trade my mask for the privilege of a metaphor creation object, one that can bridge time's worlds to offer other perspectives, which dialogue helps me understand and value more than our culture, leaving me questioning why we don't value them enough.